The issues surrounding substance abuse, specifically the opioid crisis, is a big concern with everyone in Westmoreland County. We often say that it's an equal opportunity destroyer. It doesn't discriminate. It affects all of us in one way or another, whether it's or the people that we care for or our loved ones having problems with substance abuse disorder and needing treatment, or people being incarcerated because of drug-related offenses. It affects all of us.
From 17 to 25, I spent 6.5 years in prison, 3.5 of which were in solitary confinement. I'd have to put something in me before I could get my day started. I'd have to use heroin, anywhere from 5 stamp bags to a bundle at a time. Some people can use and just live that life and not commit crimes. I can't. I just don't know how to use a little bit. I have to use as much as I can, as much as I can get my hands on, and it's a whole other person. It's not even really me anymore. I had a really hard time when I was in jail, when I was in rehab, seeing that there was actually good people left on this earth. They're out there. No one really has to take a chance with someone like me. Like I say, I'm not ashamed to say that I'm a felon. I have more criminal history than you could ever imagine for someone my age. I met my boss, Mike, at a NA meeting. It was kind of weird how I met him. I went to these meetings and I had really high expectations about people that I was gonna meet and how my life was gonna play out. And it's not all it's cracked up to be, but it is a great thing. Not everyone's a great person. But I ended up meeting him at a meeting in Turtle Creek, and I asked him for a job the first time I saw him because they all had their construction gear on or watertight shirts, and I really didn't like where I was working, or where I was working the guys were using. And like I said, being a felon, it's not extremely hard to get a job, but it's kind of hard to get a good job, especially at drug court, having to pee every day, finding someone that can understand that I have to call my color and go see probation whenever it's time. It was kind of difficult. It was definitely a struggle, but I wouldn't give up. I wanted to work. I wanted to be who I dreamt of being when I was a kid, So I ended up meeting him at a meeting, and he kind of he didn't respond right away, because I think I only had just before a year clean, or maybe a year clean, and he had a lot of guys working for him at that time, and he just kind of said, well, right now we got enough guys, and kind of shrugged me off. The guys I was working with were using at work, and I wasn't very comfortable. I was trying to maintain my sobriety, and called my sponsor, and I'd tell him I had no idea that my sponsor was his sponsor. And I just kept telling my sponsor, I'm like, man, this job, I can't do it anymore, and I quit. I didn't even have another job lined up. I was like, I don't even care. I'm not really trying to live that life anymore, and I need to learn how to make better decisions. My sponsor called me one day and said, hey, Mike ran an ad in the paper. He goes, you should call him. I called him immediately. I was still working my other job. I said, hey, Mike, this is Jake. Do you remember me from the Turtle Creek meeting? He goes, yeah. What's up? Started talking to him. I said, I really would love to work for you. I know you're in recovery. Here's my situation. And he goes, okay, cool. You can start Monday. And I went to work, and it's just one of those things, you wonder how the heck this happened. Just so good. I just couldn't believe that I had an employer that was in recovery. It was like a blessing, and it was probably the most positive thing that could have ever happened to me. It's not every day that you have an employer that really understands where you came from or what you've been through. Over time, Mike has become, he's literally my best friend. I don't say that about a lot of people because I really don't have a whole lot of friends. A lot of people try to be your friend, and they do a lot of talking and no walking, I guess you could say, something like that, And I don't really do a lot of bullshitting. I don't know how to say that in more of a polite way. I stay to myself. I keep it simple. I keep my head down and try to keep moving forward. And Mike has a lot of really good advice on life, being in recovery himself, being a business owner. This is no joke. I call him Dad. I don't even call him Mike anymore. I'm like, hey, Dad, He tells me what to do, and he has good things to say. He's really intelligent. There's a lot to learn from that guy. I've been working here for about 6 months, and I know that I'll be here for a good while longer. Things change in life. I might move on to something else, at some point, but right now I'm really comfortable where I am. He's probably the best employer I've ever had. And a boss is a boss. They yell at you when you do something wrong. It is what it is, but he's my friend. Like when we get up in the morning and I meet up with him, we talk about our lives, we talk about our families, you know, we talk about everything. He's like my friend, and then Tim, he's my sponsor, he's Mike's sponsor too. You know, we're all kind of like a family. It's not just that, you know, we go to meetings together, hey, here and there, like, that's my family. Every day I used to wake up, I'd cry, I wouldn't know where to go, wouldn't know who to turn to, I wouldn't know what was going on. And today I go home and I go to sleep and I wake up the next morning and I'm happy. And it's not because I have everything, it's not because I have money, it's not because I have a job and a car, it's because I wake up and I'm free from addiction.
Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.